Hello and welcome to Career Center. I'm Kimberly White, Executive Director of the Community Career Center, a resource center located in Naperville for people in career transition. Today on Career Center, we will discuss, among other things, relaunching one's career after time off and challenges job seekers face in today's job market. I'm happy to have Gina McClowery, President of Gina McClowery Consulting, and Michelle Mobley, CEO of NoCo, on the show. Ladies, welcome.
Thanks for having us, Kim.
I am so glad to have you both on the show with me. Let's start with you, Gina. Share a little bit with the audience who you are and what you've done in the past.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me here. So happy to be here. My career started about 19 years ago working in human resources. So started working for a few different companies across a couple of different industries, doing everything in every facet of HR that there is. So recruiting, training and development, performance management, organizational strategy, you name it, I did it in HR and loved what I was doing all of those years. The common thread that kind of ran underneath my career in HR that whole time was really a passion for also helping and working with individual job seekers. You know, when you work in HR and you have that recruiting background, people love to ask you questions about, well, how do you get a job? How do you find a job? What's a resume need to be eye-catching? And so that was something that I found myself doing a lot, just sort of on the side, even while I was pursuing my HR career. So about a year ago, I had an opportunity to combine those two passions, take the work and the expertise that I had all that time in HR, and combine it with work I could do to help individual job seekers who were in career transition. So started my company again about a year ago, providing consulting to organizations who need an extra set of HR hands, but also working with individual job seekers on any of their job search needs, resumes, interviews, and job search strategies.
And it's so timely. I mean, this is so important right now to be doing this.
Yeah.
And I know in 2002, 2003, you were a volunteer at the Community Career Center.
That's right. It's come full circle for me to be here with you today, because it was 2001, 2002 was starting my professional career in HR, but again, still had such a love for helping people who were in career transition. And so back in those days, I would work my job during the day and in the evening come to the Career Center and meet with individual clients who were in career transition. And back in those days, it was during the recession.
Right so after. Saw a lot of people.
Saw a lot of people in need, a lot of people that needed to make a change or found themselves without work and needing a boost in the right direction. And the Career Center could do that for them.
Yeah, well, great. Well, thanks.
Thanks you.
Again. And Michelle.
Yeah, so Gina and I share, we both went to North Central College several years apart, but my career path is quite different. I don't have any HR or recruiting experience. I majored in international business and Spanish and had pretty much a corporate sales career working for some big organizations in DC and Chicago and such. And 19 years ago, my oldest is 19 years old. I decided I'd take a few-year break from corporate America, thinking whenever I was ready, they'd be ready for me to come back. And 2 years into my break, I talked to a recruiter, and she had no idea. She thought, oh gosh, you know, I also have my MBA from Thunderbird, which is for international business. And she said, oh, your education's great, Michelle. You know, your experience is excellent, but, you know, I don't know what to do with your 2-year career gap. And I thought, oh gosh, you know, this is troubling. Yeah, exactly. So, 17 years ago, I guess, I thought of the idea of my company, didn't really do anything with it over the years, developed a different company that I operated with my husband for about 10 years out of my home while my kids were growing up. But just recently this month, I launched NoCo LLC, and what we do now is very much, I don't know HR, but very much recruiting basis. We're a candidate-based recruiter, which is kind of an oxymoron. I mean, we are here to promote more workplace flexibility and enable professionals to make more choices based on their life situations. So we tend to work with highly educated and highly skilled and educated professionals who maybe are unemployed, underemployed, or possibly working outside of their career or out of their chosen field. and we try to place them with local employers who are looking for them, and they're often kind of flying under their radar.
Right. You know, you touched on something when you said the 2-year gap. I know both of you, and I did as well, took some time off to raise kids. How difficult did you find it was to get back into the workforce?
My situation was a little bit different. I ended up having to not re-enter the workforce as much as reinvent myself.
Right.
Because I ended up wanting some more time with my family and my small children, ending up submitting a resignation to leave my company, and they said, how about this? How about we keep you on in a limited capacity? Don't leave us altogether. Stay on board with us. And my role shifted into more of a contract, kind of hourly, project-based role, which was fantastic because I still kept my toes in the work world and was able to still have a lot more flexibility with my family. Did that for about a year, shifted into freelance work, and from there shifted into starting my own business. And so I had to really stay flexible to figure out, okay, I have this background and these skills and this knowledge, but I'm going to shift it and do something different now. What does that reinvention of my career look like? And I think anyone who's facing time off or a period of time where they won't be working should be thoughtfully thinking about when they do go back, what's that reinvention look like for them? And it may be starting a business, it may be shifting into part-time and then slowly back into full-time, and whatever it may be, I always encourage people, be thinking about it. Don't put it on the shelf and forget about it for years and years. Keep the engines running a little bit.
Because if you do that, you're going to really be trying to, you're going to be playing catch up.
And so many people are. I mean, I would say my big nugget of wisdom would be to just always be networking. I think networking gets a really bad rap. People think networking is putting on a business suit and exchanging business cards with people you don't know or you never are going to meet again, and it turns a lot of people off, but networking is everything. It's going to your kids' soccer games, it's at the beauty shop, it's at your gym, it's PTA meetings. I would think that anyone, because I have this experience, anyone with a career gap or anyone who's over 40 who tend to be my type of perfect candidates, they need to be telling people who like them and respect them that they're looking for a job. And often, there's people who they know who are looking for that person, for that particular role. So just be out there, put yourself out there.
So what about associations? Did you all stay connected while you were off, or what did you do to continue to network with?
I think kind of the modern version of staying attached to associations is doing it through LinkedIn groups. There are so many people that you can connect with through a LinkedIn group that you wouldn't normally have an opportunity to connect with, even through a more local organization. And so I really have found that valuable for me as a way to keep my skills current, to network with other people, to understand what the trends are in my line of work. And I just really encourage people to explore LinkedIn groups, even to start small. And you can start small by joining a LinkedIn group that is associated with your college or university and is a part of an alumni group.
Absolutely, and we talk about that a lot at the Career Center. What about you?
I would say associations, probably North Central and Thunderbird. We have a really strong network, and so LinkedIn probably is the only social media that I love. I always have, and I really feel like if anyone is looking for a job, like, it shocks me when people come to me, stay-at-home moms tell me over and over and over that they want to get back into the workforce, yet they don't have a LinkedIn profile.
Well, I think oftentimes they think, why would I need one until I'm ready to go back to work?
I feel like anyone who is working or ever wants to work again should have a LinkedIn profile. And I think what I've heard from especially stay-at-home moms who have decent-sized gaps, it wasn't around when they were back in the, when they were in the workforce, and they're thinking, oh, I have to go out and get a professional headshot. My LinkedIn profile has to be perfect. It doesn't. Just get out there, have a presence, and even connecting with people. It's so easy, actually. Start with your friends and your family, and
so school, your
you
friends,
know more people than you think you do. Yeah, absolutely.
And what else have you guys done in terms of staying connected or in terms of staying connected within your past work clients?
I think it's back to something Michelle said earlier, which is always be networking. And networking doesn't have to be sort of that dirty word. It can be really, it boils down to building relationships with people and keeping relationships, maintaining relationships, and sometimes it's revitalizing, old relationships or former colleagues that you want to reconnect with. And if you're always focused on how do you build those relationships, keep those relationships by connecting with people, LinkedIn makes it really, really easy to do that now. That is how you're going to get then sort of directed to, and doors are going to open for you for your job search. I think something important to remember about networking is there is a thing called the hidden job market. There are many jobs out there that are never posted. And people don't realize that. They spend an enormous amount of time online applying for jobs, and they're wondering why they're not getting any callbacks. Well, that's all fine and good, and you should do some of that some of the time. But there are jobs out there that aren't posted, and the only way you're going to know about them, the only way you're going to be an eligible candidate for those is talking to people who might work at those companies who could then plug you in and connect you. And so reinvest some of that time that you're spending on your job search, applying to jobs online, reinvest that time to revitalizing or building some relationships with people that can help direct you.
Absolutely. You guys, I know, probably are familiar with this, but 3% of people who apply for jobs online actually get them. It's a very bad odds, very bad odds. And so knowing someone who knows someone and just using your network is really going to be your best opportunity and get you a job that you want, not just what's available, because a lot of times those jobs that are being posted aren't the easiest jobs to fill.
Right. You talked earlier about the gap on the resume. How do you explain that? How did you explain it? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you've got the HR perspective, so you'll probably be the right answer, but I'm going to give you my answer.
You know what? We have to take a break, and we'll talk about it as soon as we come back. How's that? Up next, we will discuss how technology has changed the way employers find talent. Personal branding, and Gina and Michelle will share their #1 piece of advice for job seekers. We'll be right back after this very important public service announcement.